it's a great privilege. In fact, I have come here to hear Marshal Karji because some of the ideas, especially on innovation, come very close to what Swamiji wanted our youth to do. And recently I came across a very interesting article of his where he quotes, he says, William Osler, the famous physician of Johns Hopkins University, who said that the most effective moving and revitalizing work is done by youth between the age of 25 to 40, which is known as the golden years, And in that context, Marshal Karji speaks of the Science for All Academy, the Global Young Academy which was started in 2010. And in India with a population of about 1.2 billion people, 55% or more are under the age of 25. This is extremely relevant in the Indian context. Because, and another thing, very interesting thing I found in that piece of that article, that instead of going after the H index of excellence in innovation, let us go after the I index in the Indian context, because excellence with focus on relevance, whether it's relevant to the Indian conditions, that is more important. And the other idea which I got from this was India's innovation in science pursuit for inspired research. Inspire, that's exactly what this TechPedia is doing. And that's why I have a emotional attachment to environment, this movement, particularly when Swami Vivekananda is one of the greatest innovators, not only in the field of religion, which we all know, but he was also an innovator in the field of socio-economic field, as well as science and technology. When he inspired Jamshedji Tata, everybody knows, it was he who influenced Jamshedji to start the Indian Institute of Science. He said, we'll be always dependent on foreign education, higher education, so why don't you start industries, start an institution which will inspire innovation and make India self-reliant. There is one more institution which is less known, but was equally inspired by Swamiji and his disciple sister Nivedita. That was Indian Association for Cultivation of Sciences, much before Jamshedji started this. And you will be surprised to know that is the only institution, Indian institution, which produced a Nobel laureate. C.V. Raman worked in that institute, and along with that Jagdish Chandra Bose, P.C. Roy, and so many other people, budding scientists. So it's not always, we need not look up to the foreign countries. We had those resources, we still have those resources, and we have the minds in India to do this kind of innovation. Only the right mindset is required, as told by Marshal Karji. Swamiji attempted, there is another concept of Shodh Yatra, which Hiranmay mentioned, which comes very close to what Anil Gupta is trying, industrial Shodh Yatra as well as the other Shodh Yatra. Because Swami Vivekananda was very keen that our youth power should leverage the power of science and technology to solve the problems of millions of masses, 800 million people who are deprived of even the basic facilities. If science and technology does not come to their aid, science, technology and all of our management education, what's the use of such an education? That's why he went to the West, not to attend the Parliament of Religions, which we all know. He said in Kanyakumari, the idea that came to him was, what can I do for the millions of masses who are suffering because of ignorance and because of exploitation of the higher caste? What should I do? How can I bring education into the nook and corner of India? Education which is relevant in the rural context, because India lives in the villages. And unless the villages are taken care of, and women, in those days women were also neglected. The question of women empowerment and all is the recent phenomenon, but Swamiji thought 100 years ago and brought Nivedita with him to educate our women. He said the fruits of Western science and technology should reach the last person, and that is what inspired Gandhi, when he said, I have read the complete works thoroughly, in 21 he said that. And he said, my love for the country, the idea of Daridra Narayan Seva, that is an innovation in religion which he brought about. Said thousands of years we have been worshipping idols, and we have reduced religion and put it in the kitchen and the temples. Bring it out from the kitchen and the temples. Let us worship man as God. The suffering humanity, that's a new worship and innovation in worship which he brought about in the country. And that had a tremendous impact on all the fields. That's why Chicago University has instituted a chair for Vivekananda studies. They are doing it because they felt that it was Swami Vivekananda who can solve the problems of today, not only of the East but for the West. And he said, I have a message for the West as I had a message, as Buddha had a message for the East. So these prophetic words, when he tried, and that's what we are trying to, through our 177 centers and 1,700 educational institutions, most of which are in the tribal and rural areas, trying to work out these ideas, trying to bring out some innovations in the field of education. It's a very difficult system, which Macaulay has introduced. It's like a tree without roots. The roots are not there. We are simply watering an educational system which is like a huge tree. It has grown a huge tree, but the roots are very weak. They're not grounded in Indian culture and they're not nationalistic in their methods. So we have to have innovation not only in science and technology to benefit the rich, but to benefit the poor in the Indian context. And I'm sure there are so many other initiatives which this industrial show yatra and other things, because Swamiji, when he set out for his yatra, the Bharat Parikrama, for which he is famous, it was a kind of show yatra, trying to discover the Indian soul. So the results which he found is that religion is not used as it should be to leverage the power of our people for the benefit of all its citizens, especially the poor and the underprivileged. And he said, if religion, along with the socio-economic developments and along with the best of science and what science and technology has to offer from the West, if they are all combined together, we can make a great nation. And he had predicted that India will lead the world not only in material welfare but also in socio-economic and spiritual welfare, which is the essence of Indian culture. Chanakya also had mentioned, when Chandragupta asked for some parting advice, he said, should I concentrate on military power? Should I concentrate on business, trade, commerce, and should I concentrate on education or some other field? Then Chanakya told him, none of these things will help you unless you strengthen the spiritual and the cultural heritage of India. If that is destroyed, which Macaulay succeeded to a large extent, cutting off the whole, the elite or the educated people from the roots, that is from the rural masses where the real culture lies. Our culture is preserved in the rural areas, not in the cities, not in the degrees which are these management institutes and great institutes of excellence, so-called excellence, people are studying, because the fruits do not go to them, do not go to whom they are intended. So, and another very good idea which I like and which all our young students should remember, that our learning, Saraswati, as Mashelkarji famously put it, I don't know, it was I think Mashelkarji who said that our Saraswati is creating Lakshmi elsewhere. So that we have to be very careful. All the benefits of our brain, of our scientists, young scientists, who do not bother the least. Some people like Hiranmaya were inspired when Swamiji said, I call every man a traitor, who having been educated at the expense of millions of Indians. You see, every paisa which is spent, which is subsidized, which goes towards subsidizing education in the IITs, IIMs, NITs, is taken from the poorest of the Indian, So much subsidy is given to all these institutes, especially the IITs. So Swamiji said, I call every man a traitor. This is the word he used, Desh Drohi. Unhone kaha ki if he is not able to return something back to the society who paid for his education, and if his education, Saraswati, creates wealth elsewhere, not for the have-nots, but for people who are already wealthy, then something is wrong with our system of education. We should have a serious thinking on this issue. So innovation also should be there in our educational system, where we should try to find out that the fruits of science and technology and our management and other expertise, the expertise of the Saraswati results in Lakshmi produced in the country, so that the problems of millions of masses are solved. That is what Swamiji wanted to do. And when Saraswati and Lakshmi were sisters in Durga Puja, West Bengal, Durga is the mother, and Shakti comes only when Saraswati and Lakshmi are together. If they are separate, if there is Saraswati at the cost of Lakshmi, or if there is Lakshmi without knowledge to back it up, then there will be no power. So that is the Indian ethos. And some people are trying, Kishore Biyani is there, I was very much surprised. When they have started a post which is known as Chief Belief Officer, I was very much surprised when Devdutt Patnaik, whom I am in contact, he said, Biyani told me that this Chief Belief Officer, the role of the Chief Belief Officer, is to find out how our cultural and spiritual values can be used to leverage the development in business, trade, commerce and science and technology. So the idea behind, that is one initiative, I just gave you an example. And this GTO Innovation Council, it's one of the biggest movement. I should thank Agarwalji for that, because no university has succeeded in convincing. We are still lacking in this kind of innovation, trying to make it compulsory for students, for our young generation, to use their talent, the 4 or 6 years they are spending in the university, to solve at least some of the problems of the millions of masses, at whose expense they are getting their education. So this is a part of, we can pay back to society, because society, the taxpayer, the poorest person is paying for our education. Let us remember that. And Swamiji had warned, I call every man a traitor. So on this 150th birth anniversary of Swamiji, I am very happy that such wonderful initiatives, especially in Gujarat. I have been here for the last 25 years. And I was really, because when I travel to other states, they just, I give this example of the GTU Innovation Council, the Srishti and Tech Media, and the pioneering work they are doing to work out Swami Vivekananda's ideas, especially to do something for our 1.2 billion population. So I take this opportunity, all of you have come to hear, like me, to hear Mashelkarji, and I will be very happy. I would have been very happy if this hall would have been full, because it is such a wonderful opportunity. When we conducted the first TechPedia seminar, 100 people were waiting outside the hall in rain, and a similar thing in Mangalore. We tried to invite Mashelkarji there also, he could not come. But there are people waiting, there are people all over India, youths are there. They want to know something, they want to do something innovative. But unfortunately, the right kind of guidance, the right kind of inspiration is lacking. And Swami Vivekananda was the eternal youth icon. I am sure by reading his works, by trying to find out the relevance of his ideas in our day-to-day life, especially in the life of the youth, more and more youths will be inspired, because it is change in mindset, it's the inspiration. A few people like Hiranmaya, say 100 of them, Swamiji wanted 100 youth, not more than that, who can really think deep, try to implement the ideas which are there in the mind, not just think those ideas, but try to work very hard to implement those ideas. And it is not only depth, as deep as the ocean which is required, it's an expansive heart like the broad sky. If these two things are combined in our life, a broad heart with a very sharp and penetrating intellect to solve the problems, I think we can work miracles and make Swami Vivekananda's dream come true. Thank you.